You're not still holding on because you love them. You're holding on because somewhere deep inside you, the story isn't finished yet. There's a certain kind of ache you can't explain to anyone. It's not the sharp pain of loss. It's the quiet, lingering pulse of something unfinished. A memory that still breathes in the corners of your mind. Maybe you've told yourself 100 times that you're over it. Maybe you've said their name less and less out loud. But in the still moments, when the house is quiet, when the world feels far away, their shadow brushes against you like the faint scent of perfume left in an old sweater. You know you're not in love anymore. You don't even want them back. And yet, some nights, without warning, the past slips back in, like a song you thought you'd forgotten, playing softly in another room. And you wonder, why can't I just let go? Her name is Elena. She's 34. And tonight, at 2:14 a.m., she's sitting in her dimly lit kitchen, the kind of quiet space where even the hum of the refrigerator sounds too loud. A chipped mug of tea rests in front of her, lukewarm, untouched for hours. Her phone lies on the table, screen glowing faintly. One open thread. One name. The messages are 3 years old. She scrolls without reading them. She doesn't need to. She knows every word by heart. She remembers exactly how he typed, how he used too many ellipses when he was nervous, how he always signed off with "sleep well," even after an argument. Outside, rain taps against the kitchen window. It reminds her of one night they shared, standing under a single umbrella, her hand finding his in a crowded street, the sound of his laugh cutting through the storm. She's not wishing for that night to come back. She's not wishing for him. But still, she can't bring herself to close the thread. It's as if pressing delete would erase more than just messages. It would erase the last place where the story still feels alive. And so she sits there, in the soft half-light, holding onto a ghost she swears she's already let go. It happens on an ordinary Tuesday. Elena is at the grocery store, walking slowly down the aisle with a basket on her arm. She's thinking about what to cook for dinner. Nothing heavy, maybe just soup. And then she sees it. Not him, just a man, maybe in his 40s, standing near the cereal boxes, wearing the same dark olive jacket he used to wear. It's not even the exact shade, but the cut, the way it folds at the shoulders, is exactly the same. Her body reacts before her mind does. Her chest tightens. Her breath catches in the smallest, quietest way. The tinny sound of music over the store speakers feels far away, like she's underwater. She walks past him, pretending not to notice. But her heart is already racing, her mind already pulling her back into a time she thought she'd escaped. It's not love. It's not longing. It's something stranger, a sudden reopening of a wound she thought had closed. And in that moment, she doesn't see the man in the jacket. She sees him. She hears that familiar laugh, feels the way his hand once rested lightly on her back as they walked. By the time she reaches the checkout line, she's angry at herself. Why am I still feeling this? Why am I still here? But the truth is, this is how it happens. It's not the big memories that trap you. It's the small, ordinary moments that slip in like a whisper and remind you the story isn't finished. That night, Elena finds herself doing it again. She's lying in bed, the room washed in the dim blue glow of her phone. Her thumb scrolls slowly through old messages, not searching for anything, just circling, returning, looping through the same handful of conversations she's read 100 times. She notices things she's noticed before. The way he always sent a good morning text at exactly 8:07. The way his words softened when he was apologizing, like he was trying to write himself back in her heart. It's not comfort she's seeking. It's not even answers. It's something quieter, more dangerous. The need to replay the story as if one day she'll find a missing frame that will make the ending make sense. This is the pattern, not just hers, but one countless hearts fall into. The brain doesn't just remember love. It remembers the unfinishedness of it. It keeps turning the same page, looking for the sentence that was never written. It's like a record player needle stuck in the groove of a sad song. You don't mean to play it again, but it's the only track your heart still knows by memory. And in these moments, it's not the person you're clinging to. It's the cycle itself, a loop of longing, confusion, and and searching that feels impossible to step out of. It happens on a night when Elena feels braver than usual. She's been telling herself for weeks that it's time. Time to let go. Time to free up the quiet corners of her mind where his shadow still lives. The tea is warm in her hands. The apartment is silent except for the faint hum of the fridge. She opens the message thread. Her finger hovers over the delete option. One tap and it would all be gone. Every word, every photo, every digital footprint of a love that once felt like air. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, her eyes blur, and she feels that familiar ache deep in her chest. The one that makes her want to breathe slower, because breathing faster might make the ache spill over into sobs. She sets the phone down, presses the heels of her palms into her eyes, and tries to swallow the feeling. It doesn't work. The tears come anyway, not loud, not dramatic, but quiet and heavy, like the way rain slides down a window on a windless night. And for the first time, she realizes she isn't crying because she loves him. She's crying because letting go feels like erasing a part of herself. The version of her that laughed in that rainstorm. The version that believed in forever. It's not just losing him she's afraid of. It's losing the woman she was when she still believed the story would end differently. Here's the quiet truth no one tells you. Our hearts don't just attach to people. They attach to stories. Every relationship writes one inside us. It begins with a spark, builds through moments, and, if we're lucky, finds its ending. But when there's no ending, when things shatter mid-sentence, your mind becomes a restless storyteller, forever trying to finish the page. It's not weakness. It's biology, psychology, and something far older than either. The part of your soul that fears abandonment. The part of you that learned, maybe in childhood, that love can disappear without warning. When you can't move on, it's often because an emotional cycle inside you is still open. Your brain is still scanning the horizon for closure. It believes will finally bring peace. Sometimes it's tied to an inner child wound, that younger version of you who once felt invisible, unworthy, or easy to leave behind. That child doesn't understand that this person is gone. She's still waiting by the door, hoping they'll come back. And so the texts stay. The jacket in the grocery store lingers in your mind. The story plays on repeat, because your heart is trying to protect you from an ending it never got to rewrite. But here's the thing. You don't need their closure to end the story. You can give it to yourself. Gently, slowly, like tucking a book back onto the shelf, knowing you can visit the memories without living inside them. Healing doesn't begin with forgetting. It begins with allowing. Allowing yourself to admit that yes, they mattered. That yes, the story was beautiful in places. And yes, it ended in a way you didn't want. You don't have to erase it. You don't have to hate them. You only have to decide that the chapter is over. Even if the ending wasn't perfect. Start small. Write a letter you'll never send. Not for them, but for you. Pour into it every word you've been holding in. Every question, every unspoken goodbye. Seal it. Put away. Make new sensory memories. Fill your life with sounds, scents, and sights that have nothing to do with them. A new playlist for your morning drive. Fresh sheets that smell like lavender instead of the past. A walk in a part of town you've never explored. And most of all, begin a gentle dialogue with yourself. When the ache comes, instead of asking, why can't I move on? Try asking, what does this part of me need right now to feel safe? The truth is, moving on isn't about closing a door. It's about opening another one. One that leads you back to yourself. Because the day you stop waiting for them to return is the day you realize you've been returning to yourself all along. You're not the love that left you. You're not the nights spent staring at the ceiling, wondering what you could have done differently. You are not the unanswered questions or the empty spaces in someone else's heart. You are the way you still show up for your life. Even on the days when breathing feels heavier. You are the kindness you give to strangers. The laughter that escapes you when you least expect it. The small moments of beauty you notice, like sunlight on your kitchen table, or the quiet hum of the world just before it rains. You don't have to erase the past to move forward. You can carry it like a photograph. When you glance at sometimes, but no longer live inside. And maybe one day, without realizing it. You'll walk past a jacket in the grocery store and feel nothing, not because you've forgotten, but because you've grown beyond the story. And maybe the real reason you couldn't move on was because you were waiting for someone to hold your heart. What you didn't know is that someone has always been you.